This is eGeniuses Tech Podcast. This is episode 2, and we have Angela Jude here with us again.
Hello. Happy to be here.
How's it going? What's new with you?
Nothing. Just, nothing new, actually. Same old, same old.
All right. And we also have Jose Amaral Jr. What's up,
Hello.
Jose?
How are you?
I'm good.
What's new with you?
I don't know. I mean, we see each other pretty much like 8 hours a day, so
That's it.
I don't think there's too much new that you don't already know.
Well, just thought I asked.
Well, thank you for asking. I was just kind of like, throwing that out there for the people that don't know.
Because if you don't know, now you know.
All right. So now that we got all that out of the way, all those niceties,
All those intros.
yeah, time to get down to business. So what's new in the tech world today? This week was kind of a slow week, I think, for tech,
I
but
agree.
we're doing our best over here. So I think the first thing we're going to talk about is Flipboard for Android, sort of. That's the title that you have there, Angela.
Sort of.
Hey, it's not completely out there. That's why I had to, add that little disclaimer that it is out, technically, but for the general public, it might not be as easy to get as...
It's not an official. It's not an official one.
Exactly.
It's a leak.
Mm.
Would I call it a leak, though? Do you think it's a leak, or is it just one of those things where it's been released, but it's not released in
Well,
the
from what I was
marketplace?
reading, a developer extracted it from the Samsung Galaxy S3.
Yeah, then it's not really a...
Yeah, he
That
he
is a
just
leak.
he just pulled it out of there and did his programming thing and packaged it for everybody else to download.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
surprised it works as well as it does then.
Yeah, I
If
mean,
it's,
I've been using it the past day or so since it came out on my phone, and it's smooth. I'm a little confused on how it works because the flipping part is from bottom to top,
oh yeah, that's how it is on my iPhone also.
and I've been used to using it on the iPad here, and on this one the swipe is from the sides.
Who's
so
that guy?
Where?
No, you're showing somebody there.
I don't know. I'm on Flipboard.
Yeah, so I have it on my S2 as well. I guess they wanted to make it something that was exclusive to the Galaxy S3. But I was telling Angela before when I heard about that I was telling her that it's not going to be something that's going to be exclusive for very long, just because of the way that Android works with the APKs.
Yeah.
Once it's out in the wild, you can easily share it. I like it though.
That's what's one thing I really, really like about Android when I used to have the G2, is that, say you would have an app and I would like it, and however you came across this app, you just say, oh, yeah, let me send you the app.
Yeah.
And you email it to me, and then I would just install it, and it was as simple as that. I didn't always have to go to the store. What is it called now? The Google,
The Play Store.
Google Play.
Yeah,
Store?
Google Play.
Okay.
Mm.
That's confusing. I still
All right.
haven't got used to that.
Yeah.
So we have Flipboard finally. I haven't gotten the chance to try it out on a tablet. I'm curious to see if you install that same exact APK, that same app on a tablet, if it'll actually flip side to side the way it does on an iPad. Because the way
yeah.
you're describing, Jose, is the same way that it works on an iPhone.
Oh yeah, I'm just not used to it. I just started using it on the iPad recently, so that I just got used to it going from left to right, and I never used it on the phone until when I installed it the other day. So I was a little confused on how to navigate through it, but it's just a matter of flipping from bottom to top.
Yeah, I get confused sometimes when I switch back between the iPad and the iPhone also. I'm sort of like, why isn't this working? And so I'm in a circle, and then it ends up flipping the way it's supposed to flip.
And I think I might have selected too many options to be displayed, because I just selected them all instead of just putting like the few ones that I really like. I just select everything. So now there's like pages and pages and pages of flipping.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've done that too. Because all of the sources are so good.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I'm interested in that. Yeah, I want to see that. Yeah, I'll read some of those. And then next thing you know, you're only probably reading about 3 of them.
Yeah.
But you have like
I
8 pages of stuff.
Yeah, I think I need to minimize to the actual ones that I'm interested on, and
Yeah.
see, instead of having so many.
So we all agree that Flipboard is a great app. One thing that I'm curious about is how do they plan to monetize that? I mean, I don't understand. Right now, it's a free app. You don't pay anything for it. There aren't any in-app purchases currently, and basically, I don't see how, unless they start throwing in some advertising, how they're going to possibly make any money. They've
Yeah.
been around since 2010.
That's a good question. The first thing that pops into my head is maybe not advertisers, but content providers, maybe such as newspapers, prominent newspapers. They pay for higher placement, so that they pay Flipboard to have higher placement when you're looking at the sources, and maybe to have a larger box, so it's a little bit more eye-catching, and you might want to select that one more than another one that doesn't pay for that type of placement. And I don't know, because when I was looking at the LA Times one recently, they just updated theirs, and it looks more and more like a newspaper now that I'm looking at it. Like, it didn't used to be formatted as cleanly, but they've been doing a little bit more updates, and it looks like you feel like you're reading the LA Times actually now.
Cool.
And so it's pretty neat. I mean, they have their own ads in there too. I wonder, maybe Flipboard just gets a cut from those ads also.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Because like that car and driver one, that one has quite a few ads. I think every other page is an ad, and if somebody clicks it by accident when they're trying to flip it, maybe Flipboard gets a tiny percentage from that too.
Well, Car and Driver and those magazines, they want you to actually subscribe, right?
Yeah.
I don't
So
know.
is there several different magazines that you can actually add to your Flipboard?
Yeah, you can add all kinds of magazines to it. A lot of them, they don't show all the articles, or every other page is an ad to subscribe.
Oh,
So
okay.
what I'm thinking is, once you subscribe, it'll probably take you to a place that's going to kick you out of Flipboard.
Oh, yeah, and into their own permanent app for whatever you want to sign up for.
Either that, or they're probably going to kick you to Newsstand on the iPad.
Oh, okay, cool.
I was just gonna say that. Aren't they in a weird way competing with the newsstand?
Seems like
Yeah.
it.
And Apple isn't too keen on those types of apps, so I fear for Flipboard.
Think about it. Apple makes 30% of all the apps.
Oh, wow.
But Flipboard is free.
So what do they make out of it?
Exactly. They would probably have to make some kind of deal on the back end, like Angela was saying. They can't make any anything in-app, or they can't start charging because they're gonna have to immediately give 30% away to Apple.
Oh, yeah.
Have you guys checked out any of the HTML5? Blurry. HTML5 like magazines?
No, I haven't.
So yeah, those are pretty cool.
What is that about? I'm not familiar with the HTML.
What are you referring to specifically?
Let me see if I can find one. Basically, it takes you to a website that is formatted to look exactly like their newspaper.
Oh.
So here's an example here. Let me see if I can show you guys here. So this is actually
that's a
their website. Yeah.
Okay.
And so on the iPad, when you bookmark it, it takes you directly to this, and there's no address bar or anything like that. And so let's see if I flip, it just goes to the side. Keep scrolling to the side.
To more articles and things like that?
Yeah, hold on. Let me bring this a little forward. See them?
Yeah. Okay.
So I can swipe to the right, and then keeps. You see, but it's like it's just using HTML5 to show their magazine.
Oh, okay.
And the good thing about that is they don't have to pay the 30% to Apple,
Ah.
right?
But it suffers the problem that every other web app suffers, is that nobody will find it. unless somebody talks about it directly, because it's not in the App Store where somebody might come across it by accident. It takes somebody like you telling me about this cool website, really, that I should add to my home screen instead of downloading in the App Store.
Yeah, I think you're right about the discovery. I think a big part of the App Store is actually being able to discover new apps, and by accident you can be looking for one particular thing and then it'll recommend something else, and that's how I find a lot of stuff.
All right, let's see what's next on our list. All right, I don't know if this is too interesting for most people, but this article that popped up, I think it was this morning, is that has to sort of do with Windows 8 and the operating system specifically for ARM tablets, which is that, correct me if I'm wrong, is that just a type of processor?
ARM, yeah, they make processors.
All right, so Windows RT is the new operating system that's going to be coming out to run specifically on those tablets that have ARM processors. And so Windows 8 in itself is a little bit confusing. I'm not quite sure what the name of that new interface is. The one with
the Metro interface.
So they have the Windows Metro interface, and then they have the Windows Classic interface.
Yeah.
And so I guess Mozilla, who creates the Firefox browser, they've thrown up a complaint. They've sent out a little press release saying that they don't think it's fair that in Windows RT for these tablet devices that Microsoft is blocking the browser choice on these tablets.
Oh, so they're making you use Internet Explorer? Oh.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's really not that big of a deal, I don't think, because you just can't use it in the desktop or classic version. You can use it in the Metro version.
Oh, I see.
So it's sort of, I don't understand what Mozilla is really complaining about.
I don't know.
Wait. So it won't run on which version?
It won't run in the classic version, which they're probably guessing that most people are going to be running the classic version because that's what they're familiar with. But I'm thinking if it's a tablet, they would probably be running the Metro version, wouldn't
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, but I think what that's going to force Mozilla to do is make a version specifically for
the ARM
Metro interface. So
maybe they don't like that.
yeah. I mean, I thought didn't Microsoft get in trouble for doing something like that before?
Yeah, and I think that that resulted in a lawsuit, and I think that had just expired not too long ago, if not this year. So it's really interesting that. I mean, I think it's just one of those things where the big boys they're just putting up a fight just to put up a fight, like Mozilla.
Yeah.
Wants, that big browser war and everything, and they're just like, because like what people are mostly saying is that nobody complains about the iPad.
Yeah.
You can install other browsers, quote unquote other browsers from the App Store, but really they're just Safari themed out in a certain way, or with some certain tweaks. But really, unless you jailbreak and you put something crazy in there, it's Safari at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I don't really understand what Mozilla is complaining about.
That's true, huh? So you mean to tell me that when I install a different browser on my iPad, it's still just like
That's
slightly
what
modified?
they've been saying. Yeah, unless, like I said, if you jailbreak it and you really get your app through different means, that it's in some way or shape or form, it's still Safari running.
So is Safari just disguised to look like whatever else you
Yeah,
download?
it might have a few tweaks or something, but I think the backend is still always going to be Safari.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, not a big deal to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really into the Windows 8. We tried it out not too long ago here, and
Yeah, it seems clunky to me. I don't like the way that it moves.
Yeah.
Sorry, I really wanted to like it.
Yeah, I didn't
I think
like
it's just one of those things where it might be too big of a change. you know, I don't see anything negative about the interface when I see it and use it. When I compare it to its previous one, I start to see a lot of cons just because of the major differences. Like, it's so confusing coming from, you know, Windows 7 to this crazy, what are all these squares? Like,
Yeah, I don't like the
know.
squares.
I don't know where all this came from. I mean, if you're used to a Windows 7 phone, I mean, it's probably second nature by now, but I don't know too many people in my personal circle that, you know, have Windows 7 phones.
Yeah.
What's wrong with the squares, Jose? You said that like as if you hate. Oh, I hate squares.
I don't know.
I've never used Bing.
Bing. No, I don't know. Just
We're gonna get to that.
I just don't. You know, everything. You know, nowadays with the newer phones, you know, everything's like so much. The graphical, the GUI is just like smooth and.
It's very important.
You know,
and
it's just smooth. You know, like there's no squares on the phone. You know, like the icons are just like.
rounded corners.
Yeah, not even just round the corners. You know, like my Google Music is just headphones. You know?
Oh yeah, it's like it's an actual icon that you know,
so
with a
like,
transparent background. Yeah.
Like, why do I want squares filling up the whole window? You know, I'm like,
Because they flip, Jose.
It's all right.
Haven't
I
you
don't
seen
want
it?
it. Yeah, but
Flip.
I don't know. I don't like squares.
Yeah, you know, actually, when I was reading the Steve Jobs biography, that was one of the big things. He was trying to tell his one of his designers that stuff shouldn't be square, that they should have rounded corners.
Yeah.
And he actually took the guy out on a walk, and he said, "Hey, look at everything out here. Everything has rounded corners. Look at the street signs.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have sharp edges."
I'm trying to look around now and see where all the rounded corners are.
Yeah.
On my microphone right here.
My laptop is rounded corners.
My iPhone.
Yeah. Yeah, especially here. There you go.
Yeah.
I guess this poorly designed thing here doesn't.
Aw, boo. They didn't.
I'm just kidding.
They didn't make those with rounded corners yet from our supplier.
Let's just sit here and cut them out.
That's what I'm doing right now. See?
No, don't do that.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I won't do it. So yeah. What were we talking about?
Bing.
Before Jose said he hates squares.
I don't know. I just
Squares,
think it could,
what are those?
I just think it can be made to look nicer, more presentable, I guess you can say, without taking so much space and all that.
I guess they're just trying to take an entirely different design cue. Like,
Yeah.
they just want to start fresh with something different. And, you know, I really don't mind it, actually, after looking at it and playing around with it. It's definitely not what I'm used to. It's something different, but I'm not opposed to it either.
Hey, Jose.
Yeah, what's up?
I keep picking on you, but the square thing is tripping me out because take a look at Flipboard.
Yeah, I love Flipboard. And it's squares. What's wrong with that?
So I guess, you know, the thing is that I think it would be pretty boring if it were just squares, but they vary in size, and I think you can resize them, and, you know, I don't know how long I would enjoy it for, but it was kind of cool to see a different user interface.
Yeah, I guess I'm open to give it a try with one of those Windows phones. I haven't tried it yet. And see what it's like.
Does every carrier have a Windows 7 phone?
I don't know. I haven't looked into that. I honestly haven't even looked into Windows phones at all. I'm just like,
I don't know too many people that have Windows phones.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't either.
I don't have room in my brain for any new phones. It's hard enough to keep up with all the Android phones that are coming up.
Right, yeah.
That's true.
I kind of lost track.
They were totally flooding the market, Android, which is not, I don't have a problem with it, but I don't know. I like Android. I'm still a fan of Android. It's not my number one, but I still
Ooh.
like it.
All right, so you were talking about Bing.
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 Alright, so Bing got a design overhaul. I'm not sure when this happened, and I don't think it's been rolled out for everybody yet. So if you don't see it,
I'm checking it out.
Yeah. Because Jose's never been to Bing before.
I never binged before.
Oh.
All right, I just binged right now, and I don't see the big deal.
How you being?
Okay, I have one thing for you. You know, when you go to Bing.com,
Okay.
I'm not sure if I like those images. Like the initial image, if it's a random image, like when I go, okay, right now I see 2 llamas kissing.
Oh,
Yes.
you don't like seeing llamas kissing? What's wrong with you?
That's what I have too. I have 2 llamas. I'm like,
With-
what
I
the hell?
don't mind llamas. I think they're really cute, and I actually want a llama stuffed animal. But like, who chooses these images? Like,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe Microsoft is trying to say something. You know, they're trying to be
It kind of
hip.
distracts me.
You notice the squares, Jose?
Yes, I noticed squares. There's
When you
no
hover,
round the
there's-
corners.
Yeah, there's a bunch of squares right there. Maybe they're trying to say something about Microsoft.
What's
and
up
the
with the
people
squares?
that work there? Squares.
Where-
Well, they do something.
Oh, I hate how Bing pushes Silverlight.
Oh, I don't like Silverlight.
I thought that was
Because-
dead already.
No, I'm browsing around using Bing because I'm not a big user of Bing either. And like a whole bunch of this big video like tried to pop up and it said, "Oh, this Silverlight plugin is out of date." It's like, update this plugin. I really don't want to.
No.
I don't use anything else that uses Silverlight. So is
Yeah.
that just a like Flash alternative or?
Yeah,
I
it's,
think
it's
so.
a Microsoft type of Flash player.
I remember that was a big thing when the Olympics came out. I don't know if it was the last one or the one before that. That's how they were playing all of the Olympic streams.
Oh.
I hope they just use YouTube now, but I don't know if they're.
Yes, it's gonna be, the Olympics are gonna be on YouTube.
Oh, good. I love the Olympics.
Hey, so this new Bing, this is not what we're actually seeing right now, right? This is not the new Bing.
No, you got to sign up at the top. Like I said, it's not rolled out for everybody yet.
Oh,
It's
okay.
at the top.
The new Bing is
Bing.com.
okay.
Yeah, new Bing is coming soon.
Okay, so what are the features of this new Bing? Is it just an interface change, or?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much an interface change. They're saying that it's the first interface change that they've had in 3 years. The
Whoa.
biggest update is that they're really, really trying to integrate social into your searches. So it's sort of similar to what Google was doing, and Google did a little bit differently, whereas when you search for something and then you have your listings, there might be a few sort of commentary underneath each result, how it might say Jose and Joey +1 this, or something similar to that. That's how Google does it, whereas Bing is trying to they didn't integrate it into the listings that way. They sort of have a third column on the far right hand side that has all your social stuff, your Facebook type integrations, and it says like, oh, Joey recommended this restaurant that you're searching for, he left a review or something like that.
Right.
So
it's just less intrusive. So Google is trying to really put social in the forefront and trying to integrate it with the rest of the search results.
Oh, I see.
Whereas with Bing, they're trying to make it. They're showing that it is something separate, and then they allow you to choose between your organic search results and So it's on the right.
I've always had a sort of problem with integrating my social or integrating my contacts into my search results, because I sort of like that whole, I want to see, pretend I'm not related or have a relationship with any of these people. Just give me search results that you think are best for
yourself.
For regular person, not regular person that knows A, B, and C.
Yeah.
So, because I don't want to feel limited, like, oh, you're only showing me these results because that's what my friends like,
Yeah.
or because they've searched those pages and they've liked them. That, I feel like that's very limiting. When I search on Google, I always select that the little globe on the top right, so that it shows me, the more worldly searches instead of the personalized ones, because I don't like those personalized ones.
So are you saying you don't like what your friends like, Angela?
Ooh.
I'm trying to be different. No, I just want to see all the results. I don't want to see just results that my friends have promoted for one reason or another, because a lot of times someone will +1 a page. It's not really because they like that service or company or whatever, but maybe their friend knows a friend that works there.
Yeah, I hear
and
you.
they told them to go like it or something.
I hear you.
I don't. I don't need that.
I hear you, but that's messed up.
Hey, at least I'm honest.
What else we got going on today? Should we?
I can't get away from this llama picture. I just have it up.
Whoa, whoa. That was a little scary for me when I opened it.
Oh, real quick before we move on. So Bing, it's the only one that's going to integrate with Facebook, right?
Yes.
Because they do
Oh,
have
wow.
a partnership. I think that's important to note. They have a partnership with Facebook, whereas Google obviously can't show Facebook content.
They
I
show
see.
the plus ones and stuff.
Yes, they show Google Plus.
Yeah,
Ranked
so
results.
obviously there are way more people that are on Facebook than on Google Plus currently.
Well,
And
for a
so-
period of time, what didn't Google search results also integrate Twitter, or they had certain sort of Twitter?
Oh, that's right. There was
before?
something about that a few months back.
Yeah, they were. It's funny because when you search on Google, when you use it as often as I do, and I'm sure you guys do too, is that you'll sort of see stuff that they're trying out sometimes.
Yeah.
Because they'll sort of release it to a section to see like how they react, I think. So I'm like, what is this Twitter thing here for? And then, other people don't have it, and I'm just like, oh, okay, it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Huh. How about Yelp? Anybody, any of these search, do any of them integrate reviews of restaurants?
There's been a few times when I Googled a restaurant, and it's the only thing that showed was a Yelp result. But it hasn't been.
I think they combine them because, or they sort of average it out because Bing and Google both have their own review systems, and so I think they just add Yelp and other review star systems and they average it out.
Yeah.
I see.
Are you still stuck on the llamas?
They are still on my page. I don't mind them anymore.
No.
See. Oh, I can look at yesterday's photo or the previous photo.
Let me see what comes
I
up.
guess they're sort of, that's their version of Google Doodles. Every day is a different photo. But in Google, I'm always super interested in all the daily doodles that Google puts out. I'm always interested in like, oh, why did they do that? And who drew that? And what's the significance of it?
Yep.
I'm going to 2 llamas in the La Tire Peak Wilderness, New Mexico.
Hey, we have a sponsor today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Sponsors.
we have a sponsor, and it is Radii 360 Limousine Services.
Cool.
And Radii 360 is a world-class limo service servicing Los Angeles and all of Southern California. Whether you're entertaining guests, hosting friends, or just celebrating a special event, Radii 360 is there. Mention eGeniuses, and you get 20% off of your next order.
Nice.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
good discount.
I want to place an order.
So
I know. Where can
thank
we go,
you.
Jose?
Thank you, Radii 360, for sponsoring our second show,
Yes.
second podcast. And I've actually used them to go to the airport, and it's much better than taking a taxi or a shuttle.
Or
that's
parking
the
your
way-
car.
Exactly. That's the way I prefer to roll.
Yeah.
In
It's
style,
always nice
limo.
to be taken care of,
Rock star status.
Somebody rolls up in a nice town car or a limo, they come out, they open your door, they take your luggage. Feels a little bit nicer than just, especially when you're starting a vacation, like they're
Yeah.
bringing you
Exactly,
to go
yeah.
to the airport, rather than like a taxi where they're like, get in the car.
I think you hit it right on the head. I think it's a good way to start your vacation. You go
Yeah.
on vacation because you want to get away, kind of treat yourself, and you might not want to start with a taxi with the with a
hassle.
stinky guy just playing loud music.
Hey, don't generalize. Not every taxi driver is stinky.
But they all play loud music. No, just kidding. It's just from experience. I had this guy. He took me around. The whole time I was wondering, is he taking me the most efficient route? And I'm already thinking about my wallet, how much am I spending, and so that's not the way I prefer to roll.
I feel like taxis are the perfect tourist trap because if you're a tourist and you don't know the city and you don't know the most efficient route, then they know you don't know. So why are they gonna drive in the direct way to get there and shave off $10 where they can go this way?
Yeah.
And then it's like $15 more or something.
The thing I don't like about going to the airport is having to park, and like the parking lot is like $20 a minute or something.
Yeah, it's super expensive.
Yeah.
And then your car's outdoors and it's
and
no
then
one's watching it.
And then you come back from your vacation just to
and it's on
pay.
blocks.
Yeah, and then your parking payment is like $200 for however long you
Welcome back.
Pay him.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. I mean, it's actually not that expensive to get at least a town car. You don't have to get a limo if it's just you and maybe a few people. You don't actually have to get a limousine, but a nice town car or SUV. I think it's a nice way to start. So Radii 360. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What's their website, Joey?
Oh yeah.
It's radii360.com.
Cool.
So speaking of vacations, what's one thing that is always a must when you're going on vacation, other than underwear and toothpaste?
Camera.
Cameras.
Yes. Don't forget your charger too.
Oh yeah, that's important. Your phone
Chargers.
and a camera, especially if you're going somewhere scenic. And a few new cameras, really high-end, good quality cameras, were announced today.
Yes.
And I know this is Joey's favorite topic today, so why don't you take over?
All right. Yeah, so whenever I'm on vacation, I always take my Leica X1 camera because it takes awesome pictures. The lens, the image quality because of the lens is just ridiculous. It has the same sensor as a typical Nikon DSLR that's 2 or 3 times bigger. So it just looks really cool. It's well built, and I love my X1. It's not blurry like the camera was just right now. Everything's very sharp. Only thing about the X1 was just that it was kind of slow to focus. And so Leica has...
Do you have your Leica with you right now?
I don't have my Leica.
Oh, okay.
But I do have my my Canon lens, my L series lens.
I brought my Leica.
Oh yeah.
Let me see that, Angela.
I brought it.
Oh.
M9.
Oh, that's your M9.
Yeah.
I got my my lens that I drink out of. If you guys don't know, this is a cup. My favorite cup, by the way.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So yes.
The most interesting one, I think, is the M monochrome that they just came out with. I'm actually interested. I want to play with that one. I think it'd be super interesting.
All
so
right.
What are the details of these?
Well, this M monochrome one, it only shoots in black and white.
Wow.
And I was reading up on it a little bit because people are always saying, what's the big deal about a black and white camera? Every camera you can post process and make anything black and white. So what's the point?
Yeah.
Well, they're saying that this one is a little bit different because instead of like they have in the typical cameras, there's no color filter in front of the sensor, and so when they take that out and it sort of I don't know, it captures, in our notes here it says it captures more of the available light, and it just can't see the color, and so it just when you take something to go from color to go black and white, it always adds some artifacts into the picture, so it's not as clear or as sharp as it could be. So they say that this sort of reduces that whole step, so it's even sharper than you thought it could be. I mean, if you've ever seen a Leica photo, you know that they're super, super, super sharp.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine what these black and white photos look like.
So am I reading this right? It has an ISO of 10,000?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And it's pretty crazy. I mean, its predecessor had 2,500.
Oh, damn.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm a big Leica fan, and Leica, they operate kind of like Porsche, where they don't change everything, just kind of, they don't throw everything out the window. They build off what they already have because it works, So if you notice, like Porsche, they just modify it slightly, and every year it just keeps getting better and better. But sometimes the changes aren't huge changes, right? Sometimes they're just small changes, incremental changes, but over time it's huge. If you look 10 years, you'll see a huge improvement. But I think their whole philosophy is very similar in that they don't want to do anything half-assed. So they don't mind not doing as much as long as the stuff that they are doing is great, right?
Right.
Cool.
So with this Leica, the monochrome one, I think what they're trying to do is, for the people that like to shoot in black and white, this is going to give them the best possible black and white pictures.
Yeah.
It's just because the sensor is specifically made for black and white, so the range it's going to be able to capture is going to be superior to a colored sensor.
Did you hear about that sensor?
No.
No, what is it?
How it says it's capable of 1 pixel, 1 pixel of data for each pixel captured. So there's I don't know, it's just 1-to-1 ratio,
What?
because the sensor is so supreme.
Yeah, so it's gonna look ridiculous. I mean, I guess it's a difference between looking at a picture from your phone, right? They look good. Any of the pictures that are coming from my phone, they look very good. But if you compare it to a dedicated camera, same 8 megapixel versus an 8 megapixel digital camera versus an 8 megapixel phone, you'll notice a difference. The phone's a little bit noisier, maybe it's not as sharp, the depth of field isn't there.
Light, yeah.
Yeah.
All these small changes, they add up when you take a look at the overall picture. So I have a feeling that once we start seeing some photos from this Leica M monochrome, they're just gonna look ridiculous.
Yeah.
You put it in anybody's hands and they're gonna accidentally take some really good photos.
Accidentally.
So how much is one of these Leica M whatever model new ones it is?
That's where the scary part comes in.
Oh, should I buckle my seatbelt?
Just the body of this camera, that's without any lens, just the body of the camera is about $8,000.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. And so they're saying, the lens that just was announced at the same time, 50mm prime lens, is $7,200. So that hurts a little bit.
That better be some crazy looking pictures.
Yeah.
They're really sharp. I mean, with my Leica X1, it's pretty expensive for what it is, but I have no regrets. The pictures that come out of it, every time I look at a picture that comes from my Leica, it just makes me smile. It's just I love owning, I love just holding the Leica. I love everything about it. It's expensive, but it's worth it. I feel proud to be a Leica owner.
Cool.
And didn't they just come out with a new version of your camera, the X2?
Yes, the X2.
Oh.
And like I was saying, they make incremental changes. So
that keyword for you don't feel bad about the new one?
No, I don't feel too bad. I'll tell you what would have made me feel bad, and that is if the X2, if it had video.
And so it doesn't have video.
No. Imagine you
and
pay...
how much is that camera that doesn't have video?
Pay $2,000, right? It's I guess the nearest competitor would be something like the Fuji X100, which has video.
Yeah, those all have video.
Yeah.
And the X2 does not have video. I'm sure they could have implemented it, but I think just Leica's thinking is just, if we can't do it great, we're not going to do it at all.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that makes sense, and that keeps it pretty, it always waters stuff down when a company's like, well, we have to put all the latest and greatest in there, but, it becomes a jack of all trades. It's not good at anything. It's not really, doesn't perform any one function really well. It's just sort of like, yeah, well, we do video, and it's like 640, 480 or something. It's not very good.
I mean, I don't know. I wonder if Leica's ever going to get into video. I know some of their lower end. The funny thing is, some of their lower end cameras that are just pretty much rebranded Panasonics. They have video capabilities.
Oh, I see.
Maybe it's just different markets. I mean, maybe they're trying to hit a different type of person with the X1s and the X2s and the the M's.
I mean, here's the thing. I own an X1, right? It wouldn't turn me off if it had video. You know, I
I
wouldn't
don't
say,
think it
oh
would
man, that
turn
thing has
any
video. I don't want it.
X1
Yeah.
user off, but when you have like another camera that they just announced was the VLux 40, that one has full HD video. I believe it's a 14 megapixel camera, has full
Wow.
HD video, and that one's coming in at about $699 or $799. So
Okay.
that's more on par with like a DSLR. But
Yeah.
when you look at it, it's pretty small. This camera, it's like you said, it's a rebranded Panasonic, and it's like one of those point and shoots that fits into your hand. So in that range, it is at the very high end of the spectrum in terms of pricing. But if you were to compare it to DSLR, I don't, it's at the lower end. So it's sort of like, it just depends who they're targeting with each of these cameras.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I'm looking at the VLux 40 right now. One thing to note about the X2 that it does enable you to use a viewfinder.
Is that different from yours?
Yeah, well, this is supposed to be able to use an active viewfinder.
Oh, yours doesn't. Yeah, I remember.
Oh.
You know. So, I guess that's basically it. Let's get to our apps.
Yes, apps.
Yes. Who's starting, Jose or Joey?
Go ahead, Joey.
Me. All right. So, let's see. Let's talk about the first app that I have here is Square.
Yes.
So for people that don't know, Square, you can here. Let me just show you first. Here's my iPad, and what Square is
Jose hates squares.
I know.
But this one's not a square. It has rounded corners.
They should have called this
the whole
one
theme.
Rounded.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should name this one I Hate Squares. So, okay, so Square, basically, in the past, if you wanted to be able to process credit cards, you'd have to go through this huge, like, long process
Get a
of
merchant
showing...
account, show how much you expect to be processing so they can make sure that by giving you an account that they're going to be making enough revenue off you percentage-wise. A whole lot of headache, and a lot of people didn't used to, they weren't able to get merchant accounts to process credit cards. That's why in the past a lot of places were cash only.
Yeah.
So it wasn't very fun, especially if you're not processing a ton of stuff. If you're gonna just do a bake sale and you have to do all this stuff in order to process cards, you're gonna say cash only.
I just wanted to accept this $10 bill.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what Square does is it makes it very easy for anyone to set up an account. They take a small percentage. I think it's somewhere around 3%. It's relatively competitive, especially when you're processing American Express, because it's usually more expensive to process American Express.
Yeah.
2.75% per swipe on any type of credit card.
Wow.
So it's a flat rate. What they do is if you go to squareup.com, they're going to send you one of these, right? It's a card reader. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. And it works on your Android, your iPhone, or your iPad. And basically it goes into the headphone jack, and you can swipe cards here. You can download their app for free. Let's see if I have it here so I can show you. So Square, this is how it looks. Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you just put in, either you can put in the amount, or you can have preset ones. So let's say if you have a bunch of products, you can choose one of the products, take a picture of it, right, and then just select the products very easily there.
And then swipe.
And then swipe, yeah. So right now you owe $140.
Damn.
Can I get a refund?
After you swipe, you can have the client sign here, and you can email them a receipt, or if you have one of the printers that's compatible, you can actually have it print out.
You can even text your receipt.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, you can text your receipt
So
to the phone number.
So the client can sign on the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, they sign with their finger on the
cool.
screen, and you can email them a copy, and it also emails you a copy. The cool thing is also it shows you if your device has GPS enabled, then it'll show you where the transaction occurred, which helps out if somebody tries to do a chargeback, because you can say, hey, look, first of all, you signed this thing. Second of all, you know, it shows exactly where this was.
Right.
You know, so there's no confusion. Plus, I
One
took a
thing I
picture
like-
of you.
Does it have this feature on the iPad also? So when I'm on the screen, right, when it's plugged in, it has that description field, and I can take a picture of anything that has, you know, to do with this purchase. I can say if I was selling you a muffin, you know,
Right.
I could take a picture of the muffin, attach it, and then
You
say
should,
that
what you
muffin's
should do is
$5.
you should take a picture of the person with that muffin so that it's proof
Yeah.
them eating the muffin.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pay him.
And then as they're biting into the muffin for the photo,
Yeah.
this card was denied, and then they rub it with the muffin.
So
That's funny.
so real quick, this kind of goes along with Square, and that's Square Register. And what's the other one called? I think it's just
Wallet or
Card case or something.
yeah,
I think it's just called Square now.
Did
Where
they change it?
yeah, it changed recently, but I don't have it anymore, so I don't know what it's called.
so because swiping your card is so difficult and such a pain to have to open up your wallet, now what they do is when you're nearby, you can actually open a tab. I don't know if you can see this. I don't think
It's
you
a little
can.
blurry.
Yeah,
Oh.
but if I'm nearby, let's say if I'm within a mile, I can open a tab at one of my favorite places. I can open a tab, let's say, at my favorite coffee shop, and then when I show up, it'll show that it'll show my face on their screen, and that I have an open tab. And now I don't have to take out my wallet. I'll just say, hey, can you put it on Joey's tab, and
Put
that's
it on my Square.
Yeah, exactly. And they'll be able to charge a card. It charges my my bank account, and that's it.
Cool.
Yeah. Both of the apps, you guys are right, they're both called Square, which is a little bit confusing. They have different icons, though. So right here, like I'm showing you, if I walked into eGeniuses and I pressed that little button there that says Open Tab,
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
I can open a tab with eGeniuses.
I'll charge you right now too.
I did not link a credit card to this, so good
Oh, okay.
luck.
Transaction denied.
Exactly.
Okay, so what happens when you click open a tab?
It asked me for a one-time password, my password again. So let me put that in. I think it's just verifying that I do want to open a tab with you. And then it asks for a credit card to open the tab with.
But is that because you haven't set up a credit card
Yeah, I think if I had one set up already, it wouldn't ask
Okay,
me that. It
so-
would just open it.
$300 tip.
No.
before? Pay him.
So what do you have, Jose? I know you have one that's related, so
I
might as
have
well
one
stay
that
on.
we use here at the shop every day,
Every
This-
day.
and this one is called GoPayment. I really like it. We've been using it for a few weeks now to run all of our transactions here. Hold on, let me log in.
Go pay him.
Yeah, pay him. Pay him
Another
top
cool
line.
thing while Jose's logging in is in that Square app, the one that you pay with, is you can see all of the merchants around you that take this as their form of payment, and it lists them according to how far they are from you. So obviously eGeniuses is right here, and then 0.6 miles away there's a spa that accepts opening a tab, ice cream place, some candy places, and so they sort of try to promote all the people that are using their service, which is cool. And you know, I guess it's
So
one
you
of
can
those
find
things
them
where-
easier.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, I only want to use Square, then, you know, I'm just only going to go to the people that are listed in here. So it's kind of neat.
So this GoPayment is by Intuit QuickBooks company. It's pretty much the same thing like Joey was mentioning. You can run a client's credit card. It looks pretty fancy too.
It has a better animation.
And it comes with a card reader. And I really like it. It's been helpful here at the office, you know, like when they need to sign the credit card, or when they're ready to make their payment, you know, you just enter the information that you need to do, you know, like you could put their invoice number, you can put all their required information after you swipe the card, and then it even gives you to leave a tip. when they get to the part where they get to the part to sign, you sign with your finger on the screen on the iPad here. And all of this is linked up to the business account here, so it's just like taking the credit card at the point of sale, and it's all pretty cool. You can send the email of the receipt right from here. You can print it to our printer, and most of the clients really enjoy the fancy way of doing it in the iPad, and it's an attractive way to do it. I think.
I really like the way technology is moving in terms of where things that weren't attainable before, like, oh, I can't process credit cards, I'm not a big enough business, I'm not a big enough company, I don't process enough money for somebody to give me a merchant account. I like that, you know, it's all within reach now. Say if you started a business tomorrow, well, I can sign up for Square or set up my QuickBooks account and request this payment, you know, receiver. So it's just sort of while, you know, the economy and like the government is making things harder for small businesses, technology is sort of like, no, we want to make it easier, and so it's trying to help, and like, you know, I don't know, it just makes it, I don't know, you can anybody can start a business tomorrow, and I like that. Like it sort of promotes the entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
I think, you know, not to get too political, but I think that that what we're able to do right now, you know, the reason we're doing better as far as our economy, you know, when we're seeing, you know, some growth, I think it's not because of what government's doing. I think it's what people in technology are doing.
Yeah.
So it's despite what government is doing. But anyway, that's another topic altogether.
Yeah, and all this technology, all these special apps, all these things, they just make it so much easier for today's business person to, you know, there's so many creative people out there, and to enable them to be able to sell it the next day or that day, or, you know, and accept the credit card payment, and that wasn't feasible, you know, in past times, you know. And whereas I think back, I wonder if, you know, in my mom's time, if, you know, like as if it was that long ago, but, you know, say 20 years ago, you know, if she's baking all these, you know, baked goods and she can't sell them because everyone only had a credit card or something.
Yeah.
You know, imagine if she could have taken payments then.
That would have
who
been
knows
cool.
where she'd be right now.
Maybe I'll do a lemonade stand for the summer and get Square.
The police will crack down on you. You need a permit for that.
All right, so here's a few more apps that I have here. On iPhone, and I guess not so useful on an iPad, but for people with iPhones, I know that you probably are jealous of all of us who have you know, GPS, turn-by-turn GPS on our phones, and just
what? You mean iPhone doesn't have turn-by-turn GPS?
Well, Jose, they actually do now.
Oh wow.
Not native, not built in, not built in.
Oh man.
I wish I had Google navigation.
Oh man.
You have Google Maps.
And I do use my maps quite a bit, especially for walking directions when you're in the city.
Yeah.
Those are awesome. Like in San Francisco, very, very helpful. And transit, they have the bus schedule.
Yes.
But if you want turn-by-turn directions, you can use Waze, spelled W-A-Z-E.
Yes.
And it's actually I think they call themselves like a social GPS. Where the cool thing about Waze is this: first of all, it's turn-by-turn and it's pretty reliable.
And it's free.
It's free. I'm not sure which maps they're using. If they're using Google's or I don't know whose maps they're using. But from my experience, they're reliable enough for free. And the cool thing is that it's social. So people who are, I sound like that one guy.
And the
Red
128-bit encryption.
Yeah, so here's the thing. The cool thing about it is just that it's just the echo. That's why I'm getting thrown off a little bit. So here, I'm gonna take one off. There we go. So you can see what other people are talking about on Waze. If somebody ahead of you on the freeway says that there's traffic, then you may want to go a different direction. You know,
or if
and
there's a parked car in the shoulder, or if there's a cop nearby. Or
cops, yeah. It says like, hey, there's a cop hiding over here. You might want to watch out. And other people that are on Waze can actually, verify that that's true. So, the more people that vote on that and say that that's true, the more likely that there actually is a cop hiding or that there's actually traffic. The thing is that I don't know if I really want everybody to be on Waze while they're driving. It's funny because what'll happen is if you're moving, it'll detect that you're actually moving, and it'll say, "Uh-oh, you're driving. You're not supposed to be doing this. Are you the passenger?" Some people I know actually press yes if they're the passenger, even though they're
Joey always presses yes and says he's the passenger when he's driving.
It's a lie.
I need to take a quick 2-minute break. If you excuse me for a minute.
Yes, sure. So yeah, Waze works for Android as well as iPhone and iPad and Android tablets. My next app here is Printer Pro, and it's an app for iPad.
I think that's the first app we've talked about that's not free, right?
Yes, this is not a free app. It's actually $6.99. They have a light version, but the light version didn't work for me, so I don't know.
It didn't. What do you mean it didn't work for you?
The light version just didn't even print anything. I think it just kept freezing, if I remember correctly.
That's not a good light version. The light versions are supposed to sell you on buying the full version.
Well, they still got me to buy it, so.
I'm surprised you bought it if the light version didn't work.
It was so light that it was just a logo. That's all that worked. Yeah, I mean, here's what Printer Pro does. Printer Pro, there are other programs that will allow you to print to your printer from an iPad, but the cool thing about this one is that if you have a Mac, a PC, you have a couple computers, you can install their Printer Pro application on the computer of your choice, and your iPad, as long as you're in the same network, right, Wi-Fi, as long as you're on the same network, you'll be able to print to any of the printers connected to those other computers, and you don't have to pay extra for them. So you don't pay.
Is it pretty much any app, or so you have to bring whatever you want to print into the Printer Pro app, or how does that work to print it?
Yeah. So basically, any app that allows you to export. So a lot of times on iPad, it'll say like open in, right? Open in a different application. So you basically open in Printer Pro, and then from there it allows you to print to any of the computers in the network. And so here's the difference is that there's actually another app. Let me see if I remember the name here. I don't know if I can find the name. It's also another printer app. It is called...
I'm trying to think of what I would print, aside from using the iPad for business, what I would print,
I'll tell you. The cool thing is that sometimes like you can take a picture with the iPad. Obviously the camera's pretty good on these iPads, the new iPads.
Ones, yeah.
So you can take a picture and print it directly from here, and you don't have to touch a computer.
Well, it wouldn't be photo quality, would it? I guess that's dependent on what printer you're going to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here, what I was trying to say is that the other app that I found, it's a free app that you download on the iPad, but for every computer you install it on, you have to pay. So let's say if you have a Mac and a PC, you have to pay, let's say, $10 for your Mac and then $10 for your PC. So I'm like, oh, that sucks. So this one is cool because you install the app on your iPad. You pay once, and then for every computer that you want to hook it up to, you don't have to pay anything extra. So that's Printer Pro.
Cool. I would print the drawings from paper.
That's true.
Yes, I do. Hold on. From paper.
Yeah.
Here it is. Hello, hello.
Oh, yeah.
You see
I like
this?
paper.
There it is.
That's
So,
cool.
What else do you have? We have one last app here.
Which one's that?
Yours,
your app.
Jose.
Is that mine? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I have Tango Video Calls. I use it quite often.
Ooh.
It's available on Android and on iPhone as well. Is it on iPad? Do you guys know?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So it's basically like FaceTime. For those of you that are familiar with FaceTime, except you can use it with all the different types of phones. it pulls your contacts from your own phone list. You can call them with the contacts that do have the app as well. You know, there we go. You call them with the app, and
Whoa.
you can have a hey,
That's me.
yeah, yeah. You can have video conference call with that one person wherever you're at. You know, it doesn't have to be on Wi-Fi. You can use it on your own
Oh, that's cool.
phone network.
And they have little effects too.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Keep in mind that it is gonna suck up all your data plan from video. You know.
Woo!
Woohoo!
Party going on over here.
But it's really cool. Like I call my sister with this a lot. She lives up in the Bay Area, so I call her using Tango. Or sometimes when I go to the grocery store, you know, and I call my mom or whoever, and I'm like, hey, is this is this the thing that you need to buy? You know, like I'm
That's
at
a
the
good
grocery
idea.
store. And the
Yeah.
thing that I like is that you don't need to be on Wi-Fi to be able to use
Yeah.
it.
FaceTime, you have to be on Wi-Fi, I think.
Yeah. So you can be anywhere. Keep in mind that it's going to take up a whole lot of your data plan because it's
Yeah.
running video as well, you know, so that takes up a big chunk of your data plan. And this around December, you know, during the holidays, I used it a whole lot to call my family and all that during the holidays, and I almost went all the way up to my data plan to the limit. But
What's your limit, Jose?
I got 2 gigs.
Okay.
But I use it a lot. You know, I come borderline to the
I can
max.
imagine you're on Wi-Fi a lot too anyway.
Yeah, I'm on Wi-Fi quite often, but even after that, because I play my music on it and
Oh,
or
yeah.
just things like that. But I almost killed my data plan with the video calls. So that's my app for the day.
Cool,
I like
cool,
it.
cool.
I like it a
So
whole lot.
I think that's it for today. Our time is up, and I think we had another great show. As you can see, we have our phone number down here, and we don't have people calling yet because we haven't really pushed this show yet. So, you know, when you have questions in the future, you can give us a call, and we'll be able to answer your questions. I think it'll be a little bit more fun once we have people calling in, and you know, just trying to answer their questions best we can.
Definitely. Feel free if anybody's watching this, say on YouTube, you know, because that's where it's going to get stored after. If you guys have any suggestions or any comments, concerns, anything like that, or stuff you want to see from us in future shows, or even topics you want us to cover or apps you want us to review, just let us know, and we will probably integrate that into the show if you guys have any of those suggestions. So just
So-
let us
Yeah.
know in YouTube comments after we post these.
And how else can they contact us? Via email?
They can go to our website at e-geniuses.com, and you can always fill out the form on the website, or you can just email us at, my personal email is angela@e-geniuses.com, so you can always reach me there.
Yep. Joey at e-geniuses.com.
And I'm Jose Amaral at e-geniuses.com.
Or info at e-geniuses.com. Or anything at e-geniuses.com
Yeah.
will get to us.
Cool.
Email us, and we'll get it.
Alrighty. So that's pretty much it. We're gonna also we're also recording this obviously, so if you want to watch it again, we're gonna have a link on our website. So that's it for today. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
No
Good night, all.
problem. See you guys next week.
Okay. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.